Alright guys, so here's a little tech surprise for you. This is the original iPad. My original iPad, I should say. My wife's original iPad. This is the first iPad that they ever made. Well, it's the original iPad. It's not like it was the first in a production line or anything like that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is the original iPad. Happy anniversary to the iPad. And this will be the first video in a series where we look back at the iPad on its anniversary every, let's say, year that they came out, and then it changes, of course, and names change, and sizes change, and minis come along, all that kind of stuff. But this is the very first, the Chunkosaurus itself, the original iPad. Now, here's a little thing. Now, people do unboxings for these. Hey, using the new iPad in 2024, 2025, 2022, whatever. Okay, you've seen that video. And we're going to do something a little... Oop, that is upside down. I didn't put that back on there correctly. All right, we're going to do something along those lines, but not going to get a lot of use out of this thing. This is the iPad 16 gigabytes Wi-Fi only model. I don't remember if they did a cellular on this one, so if you know, drop me some info down below. I'm not sure if they did the original in cellular or if they didn't start that till 2 on. I just don't remember. Anyway, 16 gigabytes this bad boy was. It is a Chunkosaurus, but I have something for you that you might not have seen in somebody else's video. Please hold. This is what I have to offer you in my video. This retrospective we're calling This Old iPad on my channel, where we look back at every iPad on its anniversary date. This is the original iPad with its original keyboard dock. That's right, people. They made a keyboard dock. 30-pin. This thing stood on this 30-pin connector dock for the keyboard. Oh my god, it's just crazy. So I still have the original packaging for this. I have the original packaging for the first iPad. That's it. That's what I have, okay? Now, as these videos continue down through the coming years, because I think we're only going to do one of these a year on the retro iPad lookbacks, some of these I won't have the boxes for. Like my iPad 2, I don't have the box for that anymore. You know, iPad minis, I think most of the iPad minis I have in the house, no boxes, okay? So we won't get crazy in depth, but I just wanted you to see this. This is what I'm offering you to make my video a little bit different than everybody else's. I don't ever see this anywhere, so I'm going to share this with you. This big chungus iPad, and it's very, very awkward keyboard dock. Let's get them out. I am going to have to figure something out here for display purposes. Maybe I should move the tables around or something along those lines, because let's face it. See how much that box fits in my light box? You put it on this keyboard, it ain't going to fit. Let's figure something out, and let's get this bad boy going, and let's take a look back at the original iPad on its anniversary. Okay, so here we go. Today is the anniversary of the iPad originally being announced, okay? Not the launch date, but the official announcement date. Steve Jobs announced the iPad on January 27th. So, here you go. This is the original iPad with its really, really weird keyboard dock. Here, for comparison, is the latest iPad Air M2, 13 inches. This is not Apple's keyboard. This is a keyboard my wife found online, but it does exactly what you want it to do. And on the top there, Apple Pencil. All right? Super, super cool. We've come a long way, baby. All right? So 9.5 inches on that, I think. Half a pound, I believe. I will have to find the exact specs on that. But you can check out the thickness on this thing right there if we haven't already. And we have. And the thickness on that. Now, this is running Does it even say? Hold on. Checking for updates. There's no updates. Well, I'm sorry. There is actually an update sitting in there, I think. Oh, nope. I am wrong. I thought it had an iPad, an iPhone. Sorry, an iPad update. It does not. So this is running iOS 5.1.1. For comparison, not on this one yet, but just released today, 18.3. Okay. This was running an A4 chip, I believe, at the time, if I remember correctly. If I'm not, yell at me down below. This thing is running an M2 chip, and they're on M4 as far as the 12.9-inch iPad is concerned. And I don't have one, so there's no way for me to show you that. Just imagine that size with a different chip. All right, so how crazy is it? Okay, in just a short time, look how far we've come. All right, I just did a quick double check of that spec list on there at 16 gigs up to 64. This one is a 16. Hold on. As you can see, after software updates and all that stuff, this only has 13.8 available. Can you even imagine a device now having only 16 gigs? I think their base for iPads now is... No, I shouldn't say that. There might still be a 64 gig 10th gen out right now, but that doesn't mean much. There is a 128, I think, starter on most of the iPhones. So everything starts above 16 gigs. It goes up to 64. So 64 is the start for a 10th gen, which is approximately 11 inches. I'm not 100% on that. It might be 10 point something inches, but around that size. And that 10th gen is old now, old in new release, and they're talking about an 11th gen coming out soon. Okay, 64 gigs. It has a 1 gigahertz Apple A4 chip. I'm reading this off online, so don't yell at me. Did not have a camera. This M2 iPad Air 3 has a front-facing camera and a regular and an ultra-wide on the back of it, which we don't need to look at right now. I'm sure you realize that. Okay. They started taking pre-orders in March of 2010. So it is 2025 right now. So when this officially launches, this thing is 15 years old. And mine is in pretty good condition. Okay, it's thick. That keyboard needs to be cleaned up. It's nasty, but it's been sitting in the back, collecting dust. So you stay on. So that goes to show you. When this came out, there was not a 3G version. They did release a 3G version in April. So, and this one is not. This one's not a 3G version. We didn't need it. I'm very curious. Hold on one second. I see something there. Apple iPad keyboard dock. Manufacturer Apple. Model number, serial number, firmware, hardware. Interesting. Very cool. And the only other thing I can tell you that is very interesting is, so this sits on there, 30-pin connector on top, and the 30-pin connector plugs round the back there. So it can take a charge right through that. So I don't think there's much else to say. We've come a long way in 15 years, quite a bit of difference. Let me know what you guys think, and next year will be the anniversary of the iPad 2, which I do believe I have in my collection, and we'll be doing another video on that. All right, this old iPad, episode 1 in the books. Let me know what you guys think as a retrospective video, and I will see you real soon.